Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I'm going to talk about something that's probably interesting, I think, to you. I want to talk about being yourself. Yes, this podcast is about finding yourself, being yourself. I want to talk about authenticity. Yes, authenticity. Too often, we try so hard to impress other people. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where it developed. Somewhere between being a baby and maybe going to college, somewhere in between there, we have this incessant feeling and, I guess, pull to always try to impress other people. And in doing so, we twist ourselves, we contort ourselves, we basically put ourselves in a knot just trying to make an impression on other people. There gets to a point where we focus so much on what other people think that we forget to think about how we think. I also think social media doesn't help. See, everybody on social media will always show you their best selves, but they will never show you when things don't go right. Have you ever noticed that about social media? And if all you see is all the things that are going right in their lives, you start thinking, what's wrong with my life? And there's no reason, there is a big reason that many people today, many young people, especially millennials, sorry to pick on you for that, but are now suffering from, depression because we begin to compare ourselves with other people. So the first mistake we make on our road to inauthenticity is that we compare ourselves to other people. So rule number one, stop. Yes, simply stop comparing yourself to other people. In fact, you don't want to be like other people. Listen to what I just said. You don't want to be like other people. You are unique. So let's embrace that uniqueness. Why try to be like somebody else? And again, sometimes we put ourselves in a knot just trying to impress other people. And in the end, you go, why? And I know it's human nature. Look, it's human nature to want to belong. It's human nature to want to belong, I'll use something Seth Godin said, to a tribe, right? We want to be part of a tribe. Think back when you were a kid. You're on the playground. You want to be with the in group. You get to high school, it gets worse. You want to be with the in group. You get to college, maybe you still want to be with the in group. But eventually, you got to be with you because that's who's the most awesome person in your life is always going to be, you. And as soon as we stop comparing ourselves to other people, we can be ourselves. Now, what does that have to do with sales? Oh, it has everything to do with sales because your insecurity with who you are, I'll say it again, your insecurity with who you are will bleed into your sales process. By bleed, I mean people will sense it. Because if you're not comfortable with who you are, then how can you sell effectively and authentically? This bothers me all the time because I'm always like, how can you sell authentically if you don't even know who you are? See, what I want you to start thinking about is when you do something, are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it to impress other people? When you dress a certain way, are you dressing for yourself or are you doing it to impress other people? When you decide to read a book, are you reading the book for yourself or to impress other people? Why do you do what you do? And I want to create this awareness because many years ago, the question I often get, if I can just start it this way, is, Victor, how did you become such a successful speaker? Now, if you've seen my documentary movie, it's on YouTube, it's for free, it's called The Motivator. So just type in Victor Antonio, The Motivator. And in there, I tell a story about the day I decided to do the speeches my way. It was one of the most scariest days, if not the most scariest day of my speaking career. Because that was the day I said, you know what? I'm going to do it my way. I went Frank Sinatra on them. I'm going to do it my way. And it was scary because being me, authentically me, was scary. See, I learned how to give speeches and presentations, with groups like Toastmasters or the National Speakers Association. They taught me, quote unquote, how to deliver a speech. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them, and then tell them what you just told them. They tell you how to stand. They tell you how to hold your hands. They tell you how to button your jacket. They tell you what you should wear. They told me everything I needed to do. It was a script. And I was just a play. I was an actor on stage. And this is what you have to do if you want to be effective. They filled my head with all the things I should do to become an effective speaker. But it wasn't me. And I knew it. I was doing these speeches their way. Very formal, very professional, but it wasn't me. Until one day, watch the movie, I decided I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it the way I feel comfortable doing it. And that day was the turning point in my career. That day, I felt so good. First of all, I was scared to do it my way. Right up to the point where I started doing my speech, I was still hesitant. But then I did it. And once I did it, and I got comfortable, and I started talking, everything started flowing out of me. It was natural. It was like it just came out because I was being authentically me. And from that day forward, I've never looked back. When I go in to see a customer, I don't care if that customer is a CEO, a CIO, any CXO, or the average manager, doesn't matter. See, I'm no longer focused on what they think of me because I already know what I think of myself. I'm awesome. That's all I need to know. I don't need to care about what they think of me. I am there to help. I am there to help them sell their products more effectively when I do sales training. I am there to help them grow their business. This is how I talk. This is how I present. This is who I am. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's okay. And when I started selling the way I talk, the way I feel, the way I do things, using my behaviors, not what I was programmed to do, it all changed. And I'm telling you right now, if you're selling like somebody else, because that's what you think you should do, then you'll always struggle in selling. And customers will always smell your inauthenticity. That's right, I said it. Customers will always smell your inauthenticity. So if you want to be great at sales, be who you are. Let your personality come through. Bruce Lee once said, absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and then add what is uniquely yours. Listen to that. When you learn things, absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and then add what is uniquely yours. That's who you are. I want to remind you that the best salesperson is in you. You just have to let that person out and let that person do their job. And if you do, you're going to sell more effectively. And that is it for this Sales Influence podcast. Don't forget to leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Let me know what you think. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, check out my online sales training platform, the Sales Mastery Academy. You know the deal. 26 courses, 300 plus videos, 13 books. If you're serious about increasing your sales ability, go to salesmasteryacademy.us. That's salesmasteryacademy.us. Lastly, I want to thank you for listening. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care. Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.